Okay, let's go ahead and call a meeting to order. It's Tuesday, July 17th, 2018. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, minutes and reports received and filed.
The June 2018 collector fees filed.
Announcements of upcoming Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
Chamber Connections Thursday. I'm not sure where at. We've got our MSP CP meeting Friday at 9:30. About all I got.
Okay, I got Cap Region Board meeting tonight. Tomorrow's County Government Day at the Capitol with Nicole Galloway, if anybody wants to go. Thursday, I've got a meeting with the city. Friday, I got a meeting with the chamber. Saturday, Elias Council. Night to Columbus is having a barbecue at Schulte's from 11 to 2:30. I got a couple tickets. Anybody wants to go, I'll give them to you. That's all I got.
Pre-trial release meeting on Monday at 11:30. That's it.
Okay. Commission comments. Bids and contracts. Signing of agreement with Lewis, Reed, and Allen from the assessors. Or the assessor.
Here's the contract that Jill's reviewed.
Finally get them all. Okay.
Probably be good for 2 copies.
You don't have them, do you, Chris?
I think we have 2 originals and then
Okay.
What was the not to exceed amount, do we know?
I think it was around 100,000.
I was gonna say, I thought it was 100,000.
2013, 3 million.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
I move that we approve and sign the contract with Lewis, Reed, and Allen PC.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll get them paid.
I have another question that's come up. We received a message from DevNet that says they need an addendum to their contract. I sent you all an email on that. I haven't heard anything back. Have you all taken a look at that or taken any action?
Like what? Okay.
Good enough.
They're also still working with Clear Basin on getting the cost tables. And it's my understanding that Clear Basin is going to provide them something for that last sale.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have to have Clear Basin for at least a month after we get shifted over to DevNet, so we can check everything back and forth and make sure that we're still accurate.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. Regional Port Authority Agreement.
I have it. 3 originals.
Just as the organizational part of it.
Yeah. Carrie and whoever else has had to sign it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attach our page.
We're right here.
Yeah, we had to attach our page.
Us
Yep.
and then
Okay.
Callaway. And I don't need to sign it.
Sure.
Ryan has to for
Right.
statute, but
Okay.
just do all of these.
You guys good with that? It's just the
Yeah.
move that we sign the Regional Port Authority Agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we got any unfinished business? New business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then Ralph had asked if we could move him up because he has something at 9:30. So we've got discussion of capital request from Recorder of Deeds Department.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What I handed out to you is the Recorder's Office 2018 budget for information services. Every year since I've joined the county, come budget time, I ask Rich Buzzard to inventory the office to see what kind of IS needs we will have. And then he comes up with a list, and I always submit that with our annual budget. So the budget I gave you is Rich Buzzard's list of information services that he expected us to use this fiscal year. We have, I have received 2 invoices from Rich Buzzard for items that are listed in the budget that I passed out to you. The 2 items are, let's see, one of them is for our rack in the back vault. It's $685, and no, that one is $1,800. Then also pulled new wire for IT stuff, IS stuff. So these are the items that Rich said we would need to upgrade on. And so I'm requesting $2,500 from sales tax for these 2 invoices. Now, on the other hand, so these items are what the IS stuff to keep the daily office going. On the other hand, the Recorder's Fund, or Technology Fund, is also being used. We are purchasing with the Technology Fund a $9,000 microfilm viewer, and that's actually being installed downstairs now. But that microfilm viewer is being paid for with the Recorder's Fund. But the 2 invoices I have for $2,500 are computer-related IT stuff that involve our daily operation. So I'm requesting your approval of $2,500 to cover these 2 invoices for IS equipment.
You're charging us that much, Brian?
Actually, it's all equipment and materials. I don't see any labor in this agreement.
Oh,
And typically, the labor for which we pay that out of the Recorder's budget. But he helps us by looking to see what we're going to need for the year.
Which ones were those on this here, Ralph?
I identified a $1,841 figure. You see that there?
Okay,
The
right.
equipment rack. And so this invoice that Debbie has, I don't know, Debbie, do you have this one?
Yeah.
Is that the other,
So
about 5 other ones outlined?
The $1841 is to cover the equipment rack. And then the $595 and the $190, Rich proposes adding those 2 together to pay for the new cable runs and new cable run. And there is 4 hours. So on the $684 one, there are 4 hours of labor there. We've had $42, $42.50, almost $45 an hour.
So is this $684.72, is that for the wiring for the new rack? Or is that the 595 that you had estimated?
The 684 is related to the new rack, yes, the wiring to the new rack.
And the patch panels, jacks, too, for the 190? I guess I just don't know.
So Rich noted to, yeah, so Rich noted that those two line items would be for the $684, almost $685. So if you combine all of them, the total, a tad under 20, just a tad under $2,500.
So it's my understanding that your IT stuff was supposed to be submitted to Brian and included in his budget for IT stuff. So obviously you submitted it to us, but so we didn't approve any of this in our budget. And so if it wasn't included in Brian's budget, then it wasn't in the budget at all, and this stuff probably shouldn't have been done or purchased.
Well, the way I understand you're right, I forwarded this through the budget process, so, but I don't always know if you all see it.
Oh, we see it, yeah.
So, and what I've understood in the past is it's sales tax money, so a lump sum is set aside in the IS budget for IS stuff. And then during the course of the year, someone like myself approaches you to use some of that money that you've set aside with IS. And that's how and that's been the process the last couple of years at least.
Well, we have an IS figure in there. Of course, Brian or Dale or whoever had done that in the past takes all that from all departments and kind of gives us a number. And so anyway, I guess obviously different people, different process, but I mean, we gotta make sure we have stuff approved before we go out and purchase it. So, because now you're asking for approval, something that's been purchased that obviously we didn't have in your figures, I assume, Brian? No.
I believe this, Chris, this is the process as it has been explained to me. And I began this process with this list last year when we did the budget process.
Right.
And as far as I know, I followed the process at the time.
Right.
And my understanding is now that we're moving forward on this list to get things some updated and stuff, I understand that the process now is to conform, to tap into that pool of money that's set aside for the offices.
Well, I think the process is, Ralph, is that I submit a wish list.
Yeah.
And then once the budget's approved, I ask what got approved and what didn't get approved, and then I go spend the money. So, I mean, that seems pretty simple and straightforward to me, so.
That contradicts a little bit what I have understood.
Well, I think that's the process for everybody. I mean, here's what I asked for, here's what I got, okay? Or what did I get, okay? Budget's approved, what did I get that I asked for? And then I go spend the money. I mean, I think.
Well, at my level, like last year, when there was time to update some of the things we had on last year's list, the 2017 list. This is the approach I'm taking today was the approach that I've used previously, and it was I believe by direction of staff. That pool is set aside, and this is how we tap into the pool that's set aside, and we need to get this stuff done. The sooner you approach this stuff, the more likely the funds will be there. Had we waited till late in the year, we would have been at risk for maybe that pool of money having been expended.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you all day, Ralph, but as soon as the budget is approved, the pool of funds are available then. I mean, obviously not all of them, but, you know, if you need this stuff done, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we don't know a lot about. I mean, we don't talk to Rich, so we don't know about that. We deal with Brian. So Rich needs to give this list to Brian, and then that needs to come through Brian.
Yeah, Brian, aren't you familiar with this?
I've seen it. I didn't know I was supposed to do it on Monday.
Usually it's been spent out of his
Right,
recording fund.
out of the IS portion that Brian
Well, so
overseas.
there's been some confusion because prior to Ralph, there wasn't a lot of this kind of request.
Right.
So those requests have been included in just the capital improvement request, so it's on the list when you guys get the proposed budget
Sure.
of capital items requested by departments.
Before it was used out of the recorder's funds, if they
Right.
wanted to.
Right.
So it's on the list when it goes to you, and like you said, that list is not approved in detail. It's not, they come to you as they want to purchase something and it's approved at that point.
But
But we
Brian
had a
does.
full list here, we didn't approve all of it,
Right.
We didn't approve any of it.
Right.
so,
We put a lump sum into the capital improvements for
Right.
capital improvements, and it's expected that each person comes up and says, I'm ready to buy this, is it okay to go bid it or do whatever?
But the type of equipment here should be included in Brian's list. It really shouldn't be in capital, it should be in computers, but Brian does have a detailed list of what he was gonna spend that computer stuff on. What she's
So
talking
everything's
about,
accounted for in his
Right.
amount of what he requested.
Right.
this is in a capital area is what she's talking about.
Right.
Which to me,
So you're
This is
saying that
computer.
this is the process that we're gonna have now as people come to us?
I'm just saying that's how it got handled the last
Okay,
2 years, is because we weren't exactly sure. It wasn't going through Brian, so it's not included in his list. It was coming across as just a capital request by a department, as if you would request a chair or a desk or.
copy machine.
Right, right.
but those are invoices, those already been done, so.
Right,
Should have
so,
come to us before, said, okay, maybe there was a misunderstanding where it's coming from, let's proceed with it there, or we figure out where to take something from on Brian's list and move things around, so.
I understand, I recognize the distinction you're making now, you know, the before and the after. So if need be, I can take care of this with the recorder's fund if that's what's necessary. And I will try to pay better attention or learn what the process is next year.
what do you guys wanna do? I mean, you wanna pay for it, or you want Ralph to pay for it, or?
Ralph's been on pretty good behavior.
And I can.
I mean, it's the taxpayers' money, no matter where it comes from, so however you wanna
my biggest.
look at it. But I guess, Brian, are you looking at this stuff for Ralph, or why do we have Rich involved?
Rich does all Ralph's IT work.
Okay, can I ask why? I mean, why,
That-
do we need him to come in and do it?
That was before me yet.
I don't know, but
That's what it is.
just because that's the way we've always done things, has always been a real thorn in my saddle, so. That's a
Keep
nice way
sitting
to
on
put
that
it today.
thorn, huh?
Yeah. You know, I don't like to ask questions or to stir the pot. Actually, I just don't know which way you're supposed to stir the pot, clockwise or counterclockwise, so.
With your left hand.
I just think that there was probably a comfort level, you know, with certain elected officials using Rich's services and stuff like that. I just don't think any of that has changed. I mean, they're probably still comfortable doing it and things like that. And they do use me once in a while to use various different things.
Menial task.
Yeah.
And how it was started was because they had their own funds to be able to spend. So that's what they did. They spent their own funds on Rich's services. But now it's come to the point where it's now asking for general revenue and your sales tax to spend the money. So in that turn, I would say it would have to go through Brian.
You got 2,500 in yours?
I got
I think Debbie's right. I think that's where it needs to come from. Wasn't that what you were saying, Debbie?
If Brian
From
has the
Brian.
availability to have some.
Yeah, just have to take it out, like, I was gonna do some stuff with the collector.
Take it.
He's got his own
Hey,
phone.
I didn't budget for that, so.
And we won't be able to do anything for EMS either,
And
right?
then the sheriff's department.
Different pot of funds.
Well, my big concern is the whole amount already been budgeted and bought? And I think maybe so.
Well, you're not, I mean, today you just have 2,500 and you didn't spend 17,000 that you had on
That's correct, that's
the
correct.
budgeted wish list, right?
That is correct.
So, it's just these two things, so you're not coming back next week going, oh yeah, by the way, I got this $6,200 for the 2012 remote desktop server that I bought. I mean, that stuff's not, these other big items haven't been purchased already and are just waiting for invoices.
Richard, we're working on these lists all year long.
Have you purchased the first two things?
Well, I'm trying to recall if we have replaced.
Okay, I guess if any of them really have been purchased besides the 2,500 that we have the 3 line items on that we're talking about today.
I don't know if my answer would be complete or correct if I tried to answer that. I can get the
Okay.
information and get it to you.
So I guess what we're telling you is don't purchase anything else if we approve the 2,500 today, unless you either come back and bid it, or we get with Brian, or we figure out where the money's coming from. Is that kind of where we're at?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good to pay the bills out of Brian's fund, and if you need money later, you'll have to come tell us.
Okay.
And so
Figure it
going
out.
forward, he is to submit that list to Brian
Yes.
for the budget, and Brian is to try to include.
But just because we get the list too doesn't mean that you get to go buy it. I can give you all list all day long. But
Right.
I don't have permission to go buy this stuff. Sam's been asking for a red Corvette.
The
all the
answer is
time.
no.
You gave him one.
So-
You gave him one.
That's right. You do it then.
I'm gonna work with our new EMS director, because I think, boy, that's a quick,
you
quick
suck up.
response vehicle. We can be there quick.
How can you breathe with your nose so far up down there?
You
better
gonna
move
try
on,
to take
Sam.
it to the roof?
Oh,
Now
okay.
we're gonna put the luggage
All right.
rack on the back.
Let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Run, Ralph.
Okay, we'll go back to our agenda.
Regularly scheduled.
Discussion of personnel handbook. And Jill's been working on it, and she has a committee. So it's,
Debbie obtained a personnel manual from an HR consulting company that, Debbie, they worked with transitioning EMS from Capital Region. And then gave it to me for a legal review. Well, I looked at it. This is what I found, and I haven't even gotten to legal. So I went through and did track changes and comments through Microsoft Word, sent them to my committee, which consists of Christy, Aaron Bollinger, Shannon, who's also recruited Eric Landwehr, and Matt is interested in personnel.
you got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, Christy and Aaron have already gone through it, and I'm still waiting for the rest of them.
Okay.
So we will then get together, sit down, discuss it, and then when we come up with the final product, share it with everybody else.
Okay.
So, that's where we
All
are.
And
right.
we got a kind of a time frame on that, or,
I don't know, we got to poke Eric and Shannon.
okay. I'll poke
The
him.
problem is
Shannon
none of
Cleveland.
us are HR specialists.
Right. I get
And I
it.
gotta tell you, personnel, I know employment law, but this kind of stuff is totally not in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
So, we're all just kind of making the best of it, right, Christie?
Well, you're using a template off of someone else's, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Just
basically,
kind of.
that template was then with the way we do things.
Right.
But we have changed things since this
Kind
started.
of specializing it to fit our needs.
Well, this had things in it that, yes, don't apply to us, things that should be probably individual, like bloodborne pathogen control. The jail, health, and EMS have different protocols.
Okay.
So, that's the kind of thing.
Okay.
Plus just general editing too.
Well, main thing is that we just keep working on it so we can get that
Yeah.
perfected. or-
Well, I think the main thing is to have something that we're gonna be consistent with and we have a protocol to follow. So if we have in general, but maybe there's other specifications that we have to have for the EMS or for the sheriff, then.
And they have
maybe we
their
can
own
address there.
in-house manuals
Yeah.
that have all that spelled out.
So, I mean, we can keep it general, but I think it's more there to protect us as well.
Right,
Yeah.
but something like bloodborne pathogens is not something that any of the rest of us even deal with.
Right.
And that was the point, it's addressed in the individual department.
So we have reference to department policy if it's different from everybody else.
Or something like this doesn't even need to be in this manual. And I know when I was at Department of Public Safety, we had a department one, but then we also had a director's office manual that had policies specific to the director's office. And say the fire marshal's office had their own specific, and the highway patrol had pretty extensive. Like the sheriff's office, they have a pretty extensive
And just,
policy and procedure manual.
just to that effect, before we had it all in one because we couldn't count on each department to keep theirs up. So that's why it became a one manual for everything. I know legally, it probably don't all have to be in there, but it was one place for everybody. I know we've gotten bigger over the years and gotten more specialized, especially with the ambulance and the different department. So as long as they keep up their part and we reference it in here, then
Sure.
that'll
Yeah.
work.
Well, and I'm just gonna say it, we probably have more responsible department directors and office holders than some perhaps in the past.
Well, it's a lot different than it was 30 years ago with
Exactly.
I haven't been there.
phones and you can record
Well,
everything.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, most of the
close.
policies and procedures are because of me back in the day, but.
We had that one issue
I've
over at the
Hands
juvenile
off.
detention center, so, I mean, there's stuff
Sure.
that needs to be,
Just
shouldn't
re-
even be in there.
Well, it just needs to be an ongoing
Yeah.
review.
Well, anyway,
It's
we're
always
doing
changing.
it, we're doing
Okay.
the best we can, absent having an HR director around here.
Okay.
We're plugging away.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Discussion of management letter comments.
So I know there was just some issues in a couple things in the management letter that the auditors have brought out, and I sent some people some emails to respond to that, and I have yet to hear anything. So I know we had something upstairs in the prosecutor's office, and just reached out to him to say, have we corrected this? What have we done? And I haven't heard anything, so. Anyway, so we'll keep pressing forward and we'll get it back up on the agenda and reach out to him again, see if we can't get it corrected.
Yeah.
I don't remember the specifics, but they all seem pretty minor things.
They were.
To address. And, I mean, just to check them off the list and get them off, that would be nice. So
I agree.
You haven't heard anything at all yet on any of it?
Nope.
Okay.
It's probably been on there several years, right, Kristen?
It has, and they approached me after they received a copy this year and said that they had made some changes. I asked that they put them in writing, what changes they had made to the process. I haven't received anything either.
Okay.
I'd say let's follow up on it next week and keep pushing it. Just get them cleaned up. There's no reason not to have them cleaned up.
Okay. Second and final reading of budget adjustment number 4.
Okay, this is for $10,000 even. This is for a hazmat grant for additional training that Bill Farr received. I do need action on it today. Right? This is the second reading, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I move we approve and sign court order number 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Updates on renovations, to the new health department building. Greg was gonna be here. He's over at the Pringer Center doing something with the sprinklers.
I went by last week and they're making a lot of progress. They changed the date for the flooring to July 30th. They still think it'll take about 2 months, but I guess Trent's had an open day last week, so they were over there stripping out some of the old flooring. I think the lighting is done, the HVAC was almost done, and they're making a lot of progress with the paint. He was waiting to hear back from Cosmo Club, you know, they're gonna do the kitchenette in the conference room, but we haven't seen a plan for it yet. And then Brian and I have been talking about IT
So
stuff.
the network cabling is done for all the new location or workstations and stuff. I talked to CenturyLink. They said that if I give them 60 days notice, that they would have a circuit up and running over there before the go live date, so we can make that transition. Hopefully not have. We kind of talked about having a 2-day lag move, and I don't know if we're going to talk about that now or not, but
Do they have to move our equipment from our building to the new building, right?
yeah.
So Brian was asking if, you know, we could be shut down for a day or two. I said a Thursday and Friday would probably be best for us because there are slower days. We could still do TV reads and do some stuff, you know, via paper that we had to do. But if we have to be shut down, those would probably be the best days.
It's gonna take me quite a bit of time to move all that gear from their current location out to the true one too. So, all the computer workstations, printers, all that stuff. So, and as far as I know, I'm responsible for that, so.
My staff will help with me. You tell them what to do, but we'll all help. So we were, you know, we're still projected for October 1st, which it seems like we are. We were proposing that we would close like the 27th and 28th, or at least have very limited services, what we could do without computers and printers and such. Of course, staff would still work. They would help move boxes in their offices and things like that. But if we have to move our computer equipment, there's not much else we can do.
And I sent you guys that spreadsheet of the
Mhm.
things that were updated on
Yeah.
the cost. There was the moving expense at the bottom. I know Greg was asking me if there was anything in there, or his people were expected to move all that stuff, or what. As far as what you guys had in mind, because I don't know what's over at Shepherd's Building, I don't know what's over here. I understand there's quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we were hoping that, you know, as soon as, they're kind of working from the left side of the building to the right side of the building. So we're thinking as soon as, you know, the offices that are finished, we can start moving the things from the ESB building over, you know, what we can. So we won't have to move it all in one day, but that cooler, that Bill has for it is pretty much full of furniture, desks and tables, and the tables that we got, you know, from Dr. Young, and the waiting room furniture from JCMG. There's quite a bit over there, but like I said, we can start moving it over slowly as soon as they get the flooring done on that side of the building.
Did we approve the windows? We talked about doing that. Did we punt that, or?
It's being bid out.
Okay.
The
Good.
windows
Shower. What's
and
going
the
on?
shower
Did we
was
ever hear
bid
that?
out,
Oh.
Okay.
because the cost of those were too high, that we couldn't just go with the estimates.
I thought we approved the shower,
I didn't see those.
and now I think we were bidding the windows, we wanted to see what it was gonna be.
I think both of them had to be bid because it was
Yeah.
over 4,500.
Yeah.
That'll be raising up in
I'm sorry?
about 6 weeks.
The what?
Prevailing, or,
Oh.
yeah, bid.
Bid limit.
Bid limit, yes.
Oh, yes,
Go to 6.
Oh, it goes to 6.
Mm-hmm.
but we were still at 8 and 12 is what I understood was the estimates.
That won't go into effect till August 28th.
It needs to
So it'll be
about
phone
60.
bids under 6,000 and then,
No,
Full
no
bid.
bid under 6,000,
really,
yeah.
well, our departments can still get phone bids.
We can
Right.
have a policy more restrictive if you'd
Yeah,
like.
we can make it more restricted.
Right.
We still haven't heard anything from DHSS on, you know, if any portion of the WIC money will be allocated yet. Waiting on that.
So on that list, I kind of went with Greg yesterday and looked at it, so if there's something else on there that I'm missing, please let me know. I did move the record thing down to the bottom, so it's not included in the total anymore. That is that software that we purchased.
Okay.
Yeah, and the kitchen remodel from Cosmo, which should not cost.
And Lions is talking too about applying for a Lions International grant, so, you know.
So where is Cosmos at? Are they just taking care of that on their own, or
That's my understanding is
okay.
they have,
they'll just coordinate that with us and get us a drawing and be good?
What about the moving then?
Moving expenses?
Yeah, because if we're gonna dump that on,
So I talked to Christy at one time about, her son plays football at JC, about getting the football team to come over and help us move and possibly making a donation to their booster club or something, so.
the coach said they could do that if it was like Saturday afternoon and Sunday.
Okay.
They did that, didn't they, went over at St. Mary's?
I'm not trying to exclude anybody here, but, anyway, just trying
We
to
got a bulk
find
up.
I
a way
thought
to-
about that too, because they did do something like that for us one time before or something, and
Mhm.
so. I just think we need to do something besides dump this on our maintenance guys.
I-
I think
Correct.
their hands are full.
So,
So, I don't know, we can throw it out there if somebody wants to make some offers to help with it and do it for a donation, or let us know what they want for it. Or else we need to have a backup plan to that.
Sure.
So,
I think it'd be a good community outreach and good opportunity for people to maybe learn about the health department and
it's
services.
campaign
that they
year, all
provide.
the people campaigning could come out and help the county out.
Of course, I'm always thinking on the liability side, is that something you want me to check out? Or,
It's health department, they can fix them. I guess we do need to look at that, but
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to at least see what, you know, what that entails. I mean, obviously, if somebody gets hurt on our property, we're liable, so.
Well, we have
Yeah.
premises liability issues for that,
Right.
yeah.
which would depend on our culpability. But I'm thinking,
That's gonna be more of a work comp issue.
well,
But they
yeah,
won't be
work
covered.
comp wouldn't apply to any of the volunteers. Because they're not covered under
I
our.
don't know,
workers' comp.
let's just check it out and ask some questions before we get there.
Yeah. No good deed goes unpunished. They're trying to help us, we're trying to help them.
Yep.
Is the amount included moving the signs off our building to the new building?
Nothing
Greg was
happened
gonna call
last
and ask
Mm-mm.
how much
It's all
that was.
fine.
it didn't include that.
It's just that one
But they
time.
moved the
Because
stuff
their
out
bid
of
was
that
per
office
sign.
building
I
on
thought
St.
so. He
Mary's
was supposed to
and out to
ask how much that would
the ESB.
I thought they were already
In the
knocking those
dark.
down. They haven't knocked those down.
Yeah.
be. The ones that are on our building now.
Just
the
better,
one that
better to
doesn't.
ask a question before then.
Oh, I
Sure they
totally
were.
agree.
Yeah.
I had some for lettering, door
And
lettering.
we have
These
volunteer
are those big
agreements
ones we have.
that they use. Public Works has used that for park cleanup and stuff.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Okay.
Is the landscaping, are you guys gonna?
So hopefully, I know Bishop's been on vacation this week, hopefully they'll start taking down those trees this week. And, then we'll worry about getting them ground up, so,
I don't have any
yeah,
money.
there's not gonna be a cost associated.
So what's the 2-day window? I mean,
What do you guys think?
I just wanna make sure they have a functioning network, you know, before they go live, so.
And we wanna give CenturyLink as much notice as possible, so they can.
Yeah, I talked to CenturyLink, and one guy said you better give us 45 days, and the other guy said 60, so I'm gonna go with 60. Like, we'll put that we're in on August 1st. And then I'll
With
have
who?
CenturyLink. To have this.
We need to make some phone calls then. That's ridiculous.
So you're thinking the 27th and the 28th?
September.
I think it'd be a good idea.
So if we're down for 2 days, is there any, I mean, that's not, no issues involved if we're,
I think if we give our clients enough notice, like with, you know, they'll call them and give them enough notice, make sure they come in a few days before. Like I said, if we do TB tests, you know, they have to come back and have them read, well, they can do that and just mark their paper for them, you know, there's some things clients can go to DHSS and get birth and death certificates if we're not open. But, you know, I think as long as we give them plenty of notice, and, you know, as far as some of our clients with communicable disease or STI issues, you know, if we have phones, we can still make those phone calls. There's still things we can do without a network. It's limited, but, and then, like I said, if staff are packing their offices and they can help move boxes, you know, everyone will still be working that day, they just might not have a network.
So the way it was explained to me is they're not going to disconnect the service at the current location. So they'll be able to continue to run. But my thing is I gotta make sure the new location has service. You with me? And there's gonna be a transition period there as far as like getting everything reallocated out to the new location. So I don't think you wanna do that over the weekend and hope that it works on Monday morning. It's kind of where I'm going with it, so.
Can't have both of them set up to be working at the same
Well,
time.
you kind of get into like IP addresses and different things like that, so.
Thought
yeah.
I'd just ask.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more than that. So, but once we put the order in, then CenturyLink will be able to go through and give us like a best plan as far as how to make that all happen, so.
Okay.
We already spent all your money, Greg, so.
but
Okay.
The
Sounds
reason why
good.
they wanted to wait till August 1st is because we're in the process of getting the network speeds, you know,
Turned up.
increased. And then if we do that, try to do an order at the same time to move the health department, it may get all confused, so.
Okay. Can we get Christie's grant thing done here?
Oh, yeah. Approval and signing of renewal for public health emergency preparedness grant.
This is just the annual renewal. It actually started July 1st, but we just received it. It pays for a portion of Chris and Jamie's salary. The amount
Thanks,
is the
Brian.
same, so.
Okay.
So.
On paper.
Do you need something, Debbie?
Oh, was that an official closing then for the 27th and 28th? And so she can start letting people know, her clients and stuff.
At Thursday and Friday, the 27th. You're good with that?
So we know for sure that, I mean,
I don't know that we can, are we gonna be done by then?
Should be close, but I
Well-
don't know about,
Should be close and done, or two different things.
electricians are 90%, paid to put the second coat of paint, they started painting the door frames
Okay?
last week.
Boring.
Carpet guys are starting the 28th or 29th, whatever that Monday is,
July?
yeah.
Okay.
We figured, like I said, if they're starting on the left side and working towards the right, even if they're still finishing those two copper trims, we can move in.
Okay.
okay.
And
Okay.
the only big thing would be the windows, I guess, and the bathroom.
Well, we
So-
can be moved in while they're doing that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Okay on that then?
All right. I move we approve and sign the renewal for the public health emergency preparedness grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we got annual report for county assessor on property
Made
values.
LV wait for last. That's his fault.
2018.
Oh, it's not you? Oh, sorry.
Well, I guess by state statute.
What are you doing here? Watching a monkey show or what?
Watch this, letting his beard grow.
Well, and I'm not sure how this fell in my lap, but I'm gonna do it because we need to get it done. But the county assessor by state statute has to bring over his values by July 1, is what I understand. I guess he dropped this letter off to this office on the 29th, and it has the values. Well, I didn't realize it was, Sam, I found it sitting on your desk, sorry, I don't know, you probably didn't know what it was. But anyway, it needs to be brought to the county clerk and then read in minutes as we received it.
Did you say that's where it should have been delivered?
Mhm. It should have been delivered to you guys, but most people do it by a meeting, or they can give it to the clerk and say, hey, this is my annual report, and she can do it at the beginning and say, I've received such and such.
I think I looked that up, and last year it was.
It was
presented
brought
by
in
you
here.
Into the meeting.
Yeah, and I don't know how I get myself, but anyway, here it is.
Did you allow it?
Yeah. I didn't even know you got it, so. So that's the annual report, you don't have to make any action on it.
I'd throw it away. I would. I mean, it's late.
He brought it to the office on the 29th.
29th, and
He-
it's put it
he's-
on my desk.
Put it on somebody's desk. That's a bunch of crap. Should have been presented in chambers before the first. Wasn't presented to the clerk. I mean, Sam could have thrown it away and
Oh,
I
what
think
did
you guys got it on the 29th. Did you guys get it on the 29th?
I bet they never got a copy.
Because Don was asking if we got it.
Oh, I
And
thought
said
you got
it never
it.
went through the meeting,
Oh.
but I had no.
Cause you would have presented it at a meeting, right?
I don't think I've ever presented. Well, I know last year I did.
That's my contention. I'd chuck it in the trash and make him come back.
It's up to you guys. I know Dawn needs it to get started so we can start BOE and.
Yeah, we did.
And Larry,
Dawn has,
she
Does
has
have
it.
a copy?
well, I don't, she's got all the information from DevNet because they mailed or emailed the files to DevNet to balance and download. I don't know if she has a hard copy of it, but I know that DevNet.
Somebody just took a sticky note with my name on it?
Yeah, well, and it was.
I think that report actually has to be filed with the state by today or sometime real soon. Normally it's
I
the
think Dawn
17th
has.
due date.
It's really no different than what he does with the assessment plan and anything else too.
So who files it with the state?
Dawn's
Dawn
the
has.
record bill, that's what she
Oh.
asked me, so.
Oh.
So let me go back to last year.
I'm not sure what the deadline is, but it's somewhere around that.
Well, and that's what she came over and asked me if we've received it, and I'm like, I don't know, let me go back and look on Sam's desk, so that's what I did. That's when I found it.
So is this a report that's generated by DevNet?
No, that one, well, that's probably both DevNet and Clearbase. DevNet's up and running on the personal property side, but not the real estate side.
And you guys don't have to verify those totals, you don't have to take action. It's
It
just-
says the assessor shall make out and return to the county commission on or before the first day of July in every year. The assessor's book verified by his affidavit annexed thereto in the following words, blah, 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 blah. Return to the county commission, I don't know if that would mean at a meeting or thrown on Sam's desk.
Yeah.
Well, Sam's office is not the county commission. It's Sam's office.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree.
Did you get a copy?
I haven't seen it, huh?
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to send
well,
it
there's
to the
nothing
state
on
tax commission on or
that
before
cover
the
letter or
20th
the
of
sticky
July.
note that
No.
said we had to act.
No, there's nothing on there. And the, you know, Tracy was here when it came, and he said it's for the county commission. I'm sure she just laid it on your desk. Not to throw anybody under us, but that's
Yeah,
just how it
yeah, I
happens.
know.
If they don't specify what
mean-
we're supposed to do with it.
She didn't timestamp it.
We don't usually. I mean, we do some mail if it's a
So how,
lawsuit.
did you see it on the 29th, or was it just dated on the 29th and delivered after the first?
That last
I'm
line
pretty sure we
says-
got it on the 29th. He's
Okay, well, I've
very
said my
good at waiting
piece,
to the
so.
last day.
Yeah,
Every year it's the last day.
So are you submitting it for the assessor then at the meeting?
well, if we need it for the BOE, yeah.
Debbie dug it out of his trash can.
It wasn't in my trash.
No. And I never told you I got it either, sorry. I was like, oh, here it is.
I'm just asking if you're submitting it. I mean, it's here
Yeah,
today.
well,
If you're
it's, yeah,
submitting
I mean,
it-
we, if we need it for the BOE, that's in
I'm-
2 weeks. We.
If you put something on my desk, that doesn't mean it's submitted to the commission.
Here, you want, I'm gonna submit it. You want, here, look at it. Read it over. Check the
I
number.
can send him an
Yours,
email to tell him, you know, really from now on, please get on the agenda, or please submit this to the clerk as a report to be filed, or something. I mean, it's kinda like the Reed contract, I mean, just cause he sent it to me, he thought that that was gonna be good enough to get on your agenda. I said, no, you have to contact them and get placed on the agenda, but, so I told him that procedure, I can tell him this procedure, that's all I can do at this point. If you want me to.
Well, we've got it, I mean, it's, we can bring him back.
I don't have it, so I don't have to
And
do
slap
anything.
his hand, but I mean, it's.
You
it's-
have it. If you wanna
it's just
submit it to the-
something
If
that-
you wanna submit it to the commission, then do it on his behalf, and, cause it was on your desk, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm in one of those moods today, so it don't matter what
Okay.
you do here. Just pick one and go with it.
I'll
You're gonna submit it?
Submit it, yeah.
There you go. That's a
Yeah.
good saying.
Yeah,
I'll
thank you.
include you on the email.
We don't have any action to take with it anyway. but-
Okay.
I mean, if
I'd
it-
like for that to be presented at a commission meeting and approved and signed by the commission next year.
Okay.
So,
I don't know, I'm afraid if you approve it, then if there's something wrong with those values, you have no way to check that.
so then
Just
submit it
present it.
submit it to the clerk, and the clerk can submit it at a commission meeting prior to the 1st as reports received and filed.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Cause if it's not submitted to us, then the clerk cannot
Well,
make
they,
out the abstract of the assessment book and then submit it to the state tax commission.
True.
but you guys have other reports that you received and filed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
That's basically what it is. I think.
right.
But this says that he shall make out and return to the county commission. And then number 2 is the clerk of the county commission shall immediately blah, 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 and submit it to state tax commission. So if number 1 doesn't happen, number 2 can't happen.
So it comes here first and then to us, is what you're saying?
That's the way I would understand it. That's the way I would argue it anyway.
Okay, just as long as you don't approve it, that's my biggest thing, 'cause-
Either way, it needs to be presented at a commission meeting so that the clerk can.
Mhm. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I'm confused, does that mean I can't leave stuff on Sam's desk anymore?
Yes.
It's gotta be 86 proof or above. Yeah, you can leave all that you want.
Or in a paper bag on fire.
Presented at the commission meeting prior to
Good
July
idea,
1.
Jeff.
That's it every year.
Yeah, I might leave that
That's
wreath.
why we
in-
have a policy manual.
I might
personnel
leave
manual.
that, I might leave that wreath in your office all year.
You know, I didn't think it was ugly until you told me that. Now it's starting to get ugly. All right, what else we got here?
Okay. Other issues to come before the commission this day. What do you got?
This appropriation transfer for, out of general accounts contingency for pretrial release. It's just for monitoring.
Yeah.
Is that the ankle bracelets? Is that what that was? Okay.
It's definitely a lot higher. Already, July, amount of money there, so doubling it.
Because we had more, or because it cost more?
I don't think it's
I
costing.
think we had more out on electronic monitoring. and
So
half of it.
we should be
Backfilling with
Should be
federal
getting more
prisoners.
revenue.
The revenue is up, we budgeted 4,000 and they're at 10 right now. So the revenue's up, but it's not covering the whole cost of.
Their revenue for that, but we're saving money because we're not having to house them over there at the jail, so. And then the direct revenue is probably not being seen there.
The only other thing is, I did send you the budget calendar for 2019 for you guys to look at dates. I know you've responded back. If there's any other way you want to handle that, I mean, if you still want the department heads and elected officials to submit the budgets to you and then come to that hearing before they submit it to the auditor, or if you'd like that process to change, just let me know. it was sometimes confusing when the department head sent their budget straight to the auditor and you guys didn't know anything about it till November, or if you wanna see it before it goes to the auditor. That's how we've kinda done it in the past, but there's always been a debate about why we're even doing it before. So I just left that up to you. It looks like most of those dates will work. The 14th isn't a big date.
Yeah.
But I do have a problem with that week of November 14th, because there is an election, and there is a
Oh.
holiday on that Monday.
Deer season.
So, and since it has to be submitted by the 15th, right, Christian?
So you're telling me I have to submit it a week early?
No.
So you're talking about department heads submitting their budget to us before it goes to the auditor?
Yes, if that's still what you want to do.
I think we should at least review them before they're submitted to the auditor.
So they're due to me September the 1st.
Yes.
And I would say, I think we've done in the past, that if they had major changes in each line item, that's all we'd really want to look at.
Okay.
I mean, just a quick overview of, and why is that expense going way up, or, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna go up, it ain't gonna go down, so.
And we can do that, because that's what the August 21st would be, kind of that all-day thing, everybody come in at a different time. Mostly everybody does come, even though if there isn't a big change, but that's what we put on there. Only if the department is asking for substantial change from 2018.
Right.
So it's kind of,
If there's no change, I mean,
They don't have to
they
come.
don't really have to come, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
And that's the August one.
yeah, that's the August
I don't know if
21st.
your calendar already filed that one away, because I looked at the dates and I think I was fine with them, but if the November 13th, was that
Well,
the one you were talking about
yeah.
moving?
Actually, you're still having a commission meeting, but it's over at the Law Enforcement Center.
Okay.
And when we do that over there, it's not televised because we don't have that ability, so.
We're not
either-
required to anyway, so.
No, so. But it's up to you, that's the day that Christian will
Yeah,
present
we
the
could.
audit to you.
The budget,
The budget,
not the audit.
yeah, that
We're
budget
gonna be
audit.
over there because,
Because the election, the county clerk's got this room wrapped up that day for the election in November, and that's a big one. And we kind of agreed to that a long time ago.
okay.
Mhm.
So we can have it over there, it doesn't matter, or we can change that meeting to the 15th if you'd like, which is a Wednesday, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I got too many meetings on the 14th already.
You do, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you got a few on
We
there.
got Campo, Solid Waste Management District.
So you wanna move it to the 15th then? You already got a bunch of meetings on the 14th?
Chris, you have one, Road and Bridge Advisory. At 8, but maybe it's done by 9.
Yeah.
Well, they're submitting it in August, right?
Well, this is when the auditor submits it to you and
Yeah.
to the other departments. And she has to have it done by the 15th.
Okay, so we're
Okay.
talking about the other departments submitting theirs, though. We wanna look at it before it goes to Kristen, is what I heard Chris
Right.
say.
Yep,
Yep.
that's August 21st.
Yeah,
Okay, so then, when Kristen submits hers to us, that's not that long of a meeting, correct?
Not usually.
That's not when we go through everybody's.
No, that's just probably 10 minutes of kind of walking through some of the larger tables in the book and presenting it to you.
So I'm fine just keeping it on that day of the commission meeting.
mhm.
Fine.
I thought you were still talking about reviewing
Yeah,
each
sorry.
department stuff, so, yeah.
Okay. We'll leave it at the Law Enforcement Center on that date then. And we'll
Okay.
go ahead with these dates, and then if something comes up, we can always change a lot of those dates.
And then, do we wanna look at each departments and then we can decide if we want them to come up here and go through anything, or if they have something specifically they wanna go over? Because, I mean, I don't need a dog and pony show if really nothing's changing in there. They usually have it laid out pretty much what they're doing.
Well, what I do is that file is out there, and I told them they have to have their budget here by the 17th, by noon. So then you've got a couple days to look at before the meeting on the 21st. If you want, you know, it's always out there. But,
It's gonna be a rush for some of those departments because we haven't released the budget for them to even start entering it yet.
Okay.
'Cause we're-
hoping end of this week, maybe first part of next week, it'll be available.
Yeah, because we're a month out right now. Today, on the
That
17th.
time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
I mean, really, it's just the changes, so, I mean,
Yeah.
big changes, anything really over, I don't know what we've said in the past, what?
I just
couple
highlighted only
percent
if-
or?
We usually tell them if
5%.
it's more than a 2 or 3% increase in the line item, they need to explain why.
That's basically what I would be looking for, is just any increase and why. Just a short, brief, nothing
For
crazy.
them to come talk or them to explain it?
Well, at least submit it, and then if we want more detailed, but I mean, I would think that they'd have some type of a spreadsheet or something that shows exactly what it is, and I'm asking for this, and it's this much.
Well, and Chris and them did a really good job last year of making them put all that explanation in the BSNA,
Okay.
in the notes. So I mean, I'm sure you're gonna try that too, to make sure that they have it all in there. So
Right.
we don't have to depend on their spreadsheets or anything.
I mean, I think it's a half an hour deal
Okay.
tops to go through probably all of it, you know.
Okay, so maybe the 21st we don't need to have, I mean, or
It's
we can at
possible.
least shut that down to a half a day instead of all day.
Yeah, I just make it an agenda item on the meeting. And if,
I will play it by ear instead of
Yep.
scheduling everybody a time
I
slot.
would, yep.
We could do that.
I'm good with that.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. And it starts, so. That's all I
It's
have.
just some of them have to sit around and watch the others go through theirs and waste their time, and they don't even do the other, so, yeah.
Yep.
Anything else, Jeff?
Good.
Yeah, I got a letter in the mail from Miss Ivano. Public hearing will be held regarding the joint effort of the City of Jefferson, Cole County, Callaway County to establish the Heartland Port Authority of Central Missouri. The hearing scheduled for July 26th, 7 p.m. at City Hall. So, public comments, both spoken and written, are welcome and accepted.
Are you putting that on the agenda then, Debbie? We talked about that a while ago, or Melody asked me about that, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw you put something on there, I thought. So it's already on there?
I did put it on your calendars. I didn't tell her that maybe we may or may not put that on the agenda.
Do we want
if
that
you're
as
not
an
all
agenda?
going.
It could be all of us, could be none of us, I don't know. for
I'll
sure.
probably go.
I just told Melody to post it.
Okay.
If we were
Okay.
there, we followed the letter of the law, so if we're not
Okay.
there, no big deal.
And United Way's kicked off here, so turn your pledge card in by the 27th. You get $100 cash, or a day's vacation with pay.
Why don't you just donate the money to United Way?
This is besides that money. Anything else?
I like his answer better than yours. Give to both.
Give to both.
This is in addition to that.
Alright.
Very recess.
Yeah, maybe we stand in recess till 4:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.